guys, for today's video I'm doing my current foundation routine, and this is a routine that I do more so on days where I want just a little bit more full coverage. And so I would say it's medium to full buildable coverage depending on how much product you add or how many layers you add, and I will definitely show you what I mean and how I do that. And I like it because it's still, you know, it's full coverage, but it's still skin. Like I can still see my skin, a little bit of freckles on my nose peeking through, and that's what I love about it because it doesn't look cakey. And the best part about it is that it's super long wear. So this look will last you all day long. Now, it is important to note that I personally have very, very dry skin, but at the same time, this foundation routine is it's gonna work for everybody, all skin types from very dry to very oily. The only thing you're just going to want to do is modify accordingly. For example, if you do have more oily skin, just incorporate a mattifying primer before and perhaps a mattifying powder at the end, and maybe for touch-ups throughout the day. But because I'm dry, these are the specific steps that I'm gonna do. So if you wanna see how I achieve this skin look here, my current foundation routine for more full coverage that works on a variety of skin types and that is all day, very long lasting, then just keep watching and we will get started.
All right, first things first, because I have very, very dry skin, as I mentioned, my foundation routine always begins with extra hydration. So here I'm using the Pixi Glotion Day Dew, which is just a really hydrating lotion. It has a little bit of a soft focusing effect on it, so I'm just slathering that on my face. Now I'm going in with my beloved Bobbi Brown Extra Repair Eye Cream. This stuff, as you can see, I am just slathering that all around the eye area in the 360 motion on the lid, under the eyes, because I just have dryness all over the place. This eye cream is awesome for anti-aging, like fine lines and wrinkles, but I specifically love it best for makeup prep because it really helps obviously hydrate the skin, but it also really helps diminish puffiness. So your concealer just goes on so much better, I promise. Next, I'm priming my face using the Skindinavia Makeup Primer Spray. So you just want to make sure to shake it up, and then I'm taking it in an X and then a T motion, and the fine mist will just distribute it appropriately across my skin. And then this next step is totally optional, but because I've been experiencing a little bit of texture lately, I'm taking the smoothing primer from Makeup Forever and just concentrating that on the places where I've experienced the texture. I also like to put it around my laugh lines, any other fine lines and wrinkles where I notice that makeup can settle into. I just like to hit it in those spots and kind of press it in. And that with the Skindinavia spray, those together, I just really enjoy the combination. Now that the face is all primed and prepped and ready to go, we're going in with foundation. So I'm taking first the Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin Foundation, and I'm just taking one pump and just obviously dotting that and applying that on my face. And then I'm going to go in with the IT Cosmetics CC cream and do the same. One pump with that and just daubing it on my face, and then I will start blending those together with a damp sponge. And that sponge that I'm using is by the brand Pure, and it came in the Cameo Contour set, which is like a foundation stick on one side and a cream contour on the other side, so it is part of a set. Now, the reason that I mixed the two foundation or CC cream and foundation together is because I absolutely love that IT Cosmetics CC cream for the coverage and the finish, but unfortunately it is not very long wearing on me, so mixing it with the long wearing foundation, the Maybelline Super Stay, which is very long wear on myself, I get the best of both worlds. The long wear, the beautiful full coverage finish. So I am just pouncing that in my skin. I am stippling it, not swiping it, because stippling it is going to press the product into your skin. Swiping it is actually going to take away some of the coverage, which is not what we want for today's tutorial. We want more full coverage. So going again with another layer of those two products together, I'm just going in with my second layer. To get a more full coverage look, especially one that's not cakey, which is really easy to do, especially on dry skin. You'll notice that I am working in thin layers and I am pouncing that. As you can see here, I am exaggerating that kind of popcorn pouncing motion, which is exactly what you want to do. You do not want to swipe, like I said, because that will diminish the coverage. Now, even though I properly exfoliated my skin, I just have dry skin, and unfortunately sometimes the dry patches still will shine through. So this pouncing motion really will help not disrupt how that skin lays on your face, and it won't disrupt it. If you think about the skin as like shingles on the roof of a house, they kind of all point in one direction. So let's say downward. Now, if I was to go in and just kind of swipe and try to buff it, that's going to disrupt how the skin lays, and it's going to look like, unfortunately, a little bit more cakey, crepey, dry, and it's not good. So the stippling, popcorn motion, and pouncing is key. And then I'm going in with one additional layer of those products, the Maybelline foundation with the CC cream by IT Cosmetics. So the 3 layers, the 3 very thin layers, is going to help me achieve the more full coverage look that I was going for. Now it's time to work on my under eye discoloration. So I'm going in with one of my favorite concealers. This is Clinique, the Line Smoothing Concealer. I have this one in the shade Light, which definitely has more of a peachy tone. So not only does it conceal, but it also does a nice job of correcting under the eyes as well. And I am applying it in somewhat of an upside down triangle, and I'm going pretty heavy with it. I did conceal on my eyelids as well, just to neutralize any veining or discoloration there. And then I did apply a lot of product. That's a lot of product unless you're going to be blending it out with a damp sponge, because the damp sponge will unfortunately eat up a little bit of the product, but it will also help make it so you don't have excess product lean on your face. So if you're not using a damp sponge to blend out the under eye concealer, I definitely recommend going in a lot more light-handedly, and just definitely not using as much concealer. For a little extra brightness, I love this Maybelline Lumi Concealing Highlighter. This one is in the shade Ivory, so it is more of like a skin tone yellow tone, but I just love how it looks. It's like one of the best products at the drugstore, and I just enjoy it. So I'm just popping that on the under eyes in the upside down triangle and just blending that into the skin with the damp sponge. And you'll notice that I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm going from inner corner to outer corner, and that's just going to help really press that product into the skin and help it as best as it can not to crease. Although, unfortunately, these products do crease on me. So I'm going to go ahead next and set it with the variety of setting powders that I have here. You don't need to use all of these, but I just like the mixture. I have them, and so I'm just swirling that under the eye to set the under eye. I'm also going to set the eyelid area because that is very creasy on me personally as well. Those powders are a mixture of MAC shaping powders, Anastasia highlighting powder, setting powders, and then an Ofra banana powder for under eye setting. It's just a mixture. Like I said, definitely not necessary to use all 4. Now to set the rest of my face, I'm going in with the Face Adelaide. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it is basically a translucent pressed powder. And so I'm taking just the tiniest bit and I'm just pressing that on my face because I don't want to disrupt how that skin is laying on my face, because again, that's going to make it look cakey, dried, and not good. So I'm just doing the same, just really lightly pressing it. I don't want to mess up the foundation that I already applied. I'm just simply setting the product in place with this pressed powder. This powder actually has properties in it that repel moisture and oil, so it's so fantastic for long wear. It also does something to the skin where it doesn't settle in fine lines and wrinkles or settle into pores. It's just fantastic. All right, this last step is totally optional, but I'm taking the MAC Pro Longwear Pressed Powder foundation. It is a foundation. It does have pigment and coverage, but because I'm applying it in such a thin layer and just a very light amount, it's not really going to offer too much additional coverage. For me, this is just an extra security measure, if you will, to just ensure the super long wear of the complexion products that we're doing. And it's a lot of products that we're using kind of built up on each other. That's the key though, is to build it up in thin layers. That way you're going to get the desired coverage, but it's not going to look cakey. And I'm going to show you right now so you can see for yourself right here what the skin looks like using all those very thin layers of products. FYI, I did put on some eye makeup and some eyebrows so I don't look as corpse-like, but no additional face products, just what you guys already saw. So here's what it looks like. Definitely looks like fresh face skin in my opinion. You can see my freckles on my nose still poking through, and we did use so many layers, and actually we used a lot of product, but because of the application and how we applied it, it doesn't look cakey. So now we're going to go ahead and finish the face. I'm going to add some dimension and depth back into it. So I'm taking the Hoola by Benefit bronzer and this e.l.f. contour brush. I'm not sure the exact name, but I am going to apply that on the contour areas of my face just to chisel out my face. I did tap off the product because I didn't really want a lot, but unfortunately this brush kind of did apply more of a more pigmented application than I was going for, but it's not a big deal. We will blend it out here in a moment. So yeah, just tapping that off on the back of my hand to take down some of the pigment. And I'm just popping that on the contours of my face. I have gained a little bit of weight with my recent pregnancy, and I just feel better about myself when I contour and chisel out my face a little bit. So I am putting that under the jawline as well to kind of slim down the double chin situation that I have going on. And now I'm taking a bronzer brush, my beloved Bobbi Brown bronzer brush, and I'm just going to kind of take a little bit more of that Hoola product and just blend it with the contour and add a little bit more to the face, and basically just blend the contour and bronze all at the same time, just on the high points of the face. Really work it into the hairline so you don't see any harsh lines, and really just focus on blending that contour out so it's not that super harsh stripe like it was before. If you're new to my channel, or if you don't know my obsession with that Bobbi Brown bronzer brush, it has to be the best bronzer brush I've ever used. It is more expensive, it's an investment, but it's a really good one. And of course, I'm just hitting that bronzer on my neck and my jawline just to blend everything out and to blend it down on my neck. And now I'm going to go in with blush, and I'm using Makeup Geek blush in the color Spellbound. It's a beautiful kind of peachy neutrally blush, and I'm really concentrating that on the backs of my cheek. I'm not going too far down on the apples. I've just been loving that application lately, how it looks more so on the back of the cheek, so that's what I'm doing. And I am using my Bobbi Brown blush brush, which is also a favorite of mine. Now for a highlight, I'm taking the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle, and that's a Sonia Kashuk dual fiber fan brush, and I'm just hitting that on the high points of the cheeks, kind of blending it down with the blush as you would generally place a highlight. I'm also going to hit it on the center of my nose and on my Cupid's bow. And just in case I happen to go a little overboard on the blush and bronzer and highlight, I just am taking this face blender brush by Bobbi Brown, and I'm just gently blending everything together just so it's all more seamless and not super harsh. All right, and the final step, which is super important to lock and load that makeup that we just worked so hard on, taking the Skindinavia makeup finishing spray. You want to make sure to shake it up really good and hold it about 8 inches or so away from your face. You want to take it in an X motion and a T motion. That is just going to lock and load and secure that makeup for up to 16 hours for all day wear.
All right guys, so that is my current foundation routine for more of a full coverage look and a very long lasting results. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you picked up some tips and tricks you can use yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.